Okay, so we're going to go over these a little bit quick just because we do have quite a few to go over. Okay, so which system of the body would be directly affected if a large number of T cells were attacked by a virus? So when I hear the word T cells and virus, I think my immune system. So the right answer is immune system. There is our hint. Which of the following is directly caused by muscle action? So it's either a movement of the body or movement of things from organ to organ. It has nothing to do with nerves or healing or hormones, extension of limbs. So I think that's moving your physical body. Okay. When a person is frightened by a wild animal, some organ systems immediately become active while others become suppressed. If you didn't know what suppressed was, it sounds in this context that it's just the opposite of active, which is stopped, okay? Which of these systems is likely to be suppressed? So if you are frightened, what do you think?
Digestive.
This is
muscular. No, because you gotta move.
Yeah,
if you're
muscles
scared, you
are-
gotta move.
You don't need muscles to stop.
Wouldn't it be your digestive because everything else kicks in?
So I'm not gonna lie, at first when I get scared, I kind of stiffen up, but then I'm like, they're probably talking about when the organism is about to go. So I would say in order to run away from a predator, your hormones are high, you're moving and you're breathing hard, so the only one you don't want is digestive. I wish instead of this it would have said, which of these systems is not needed? And it's definitely digestive.
I mean, I hope you wouldn't use your digestive system.
Which of these body systems is directly responsible for delivering? Who delivers?
Respiratory.
Circulatory. So what circulates? Remember, your blood circulates. It circulates basically three things. Gas, so it delivers oxygen, picks up CO2, okay? So it picks up oxygen from one lung, delivers it while picking up CO2 and then delivering it back to the lungs. It's picking up nutrients from the digestive system, delivering glucose, and it's picking up waste from all your cells. So when a blood cell comes in contact to another cell, it can interact by giving them or taking a gas, nutrients, or waste. Okay, next ones. Nutrients from digestive food move from the digestive to the circulatory, so it circulates them, okay? Food provides the body with all of the following except we get calories, we get amino acids, which are proteins, we get lipids. So I'm assuming they're talking about like carbs, lipids, proteins. We do not get hydrochloric acid. Okay, which structure in the upper arm is responsible for the raising of the lower arm? When you feel it, when you're feeling it, what do y'all think? Three. If you actually feel your arm, you feel it moving.
I have nearly every one of these wrong.
It's okay. Okay, a dog's pituitary gland, so this is a hormone question, produces the hormone ACTH, which stimulates the adrenal glands to secrete cortisol. Cortisol helps regulate body weight, mineral balance, and the structure of connective tissue, the production of white blood cells, and skin health. When cortisol levels are low, the pituitary gland secretes ACTH. When cortisol levels are high, the pituitary gland stops secreting ACTH. Based on this information, which of the following would most likely be the cause of elevated levels of cortisol? So if you have high cortisol, so guys, when cortisol levels are high, the pituitary gland stops secreting ACTH. Okay, cortisol helps. Okay, so a dog's pituitary gland produces ACTH, which stimulates the adrenal glands to secrete cortisol. Okay, so guys, what they're saying is the pituitary gland makes this, which stimulates the adrenal gland to secrete cortisol. So right now, if cortisol levels are high, The adrenal glands are working overdrive, okay? Undersized adrenal glands, if they're undersized, they probably wouldn't be able to work as hard. Okay, look up here. An excess of ACTH.
Is D right?
So when cortisol levels are high, the pituitary gland stops secreting it. An inactive pituitary gland, an immune response to the excess level of cortisol. An immune response to the excess level of cortisol, which the following is most likely the cause of elevated.
Dang it.
So, did y'all pick B or C?
I didn't understand this, I didn't take it.
I didn't because
So,
I picked B.
when cortisol levels are low, the pituitary gland secretes ACTH. When cortisol levels are high, the pituitary gland stops secreting it. A dog's pituitary gland produces ACTH, which stimulates the adrenal gland. So guys, if you had an inactive pituitary gland, it wouldn't be able to produce this hormone, and it wouldn't be able to stimulate this one. So if you have excess ACTH, because what happens is, when this is high, we don't need any more ACTH. But if there's too much of it, it's gonna, we're just not gonna be stopped. So guys, I don't like this question because I feel like it's not a really good flow chart, but I think if there's excess ACTH, you're gonna keep on secreting cortisol. Don't like it. Okay, next one. Which of the following correctly describes an interaction that occurs between two body systems of a rabbit that helps a rabbit to outrun a pursuing coyote? The skeletal system releases calcium. Guys, did we ever talk about your skeleton releasing calcium? Nope. And the circulatory system retains more sodium? Did we talk about the circulatory retaining sodium?
No.
The digestive system, should your digestive system help you with anything? Increases the rate of digestion in the excretory system? No. The respiratory system increases breathing rate? Yeah. The circulatory system increases blood pressure to provide tissues with more oxygen. That sounds right.
Yes!
The endocrine hormones release hormones that prepare the immune system to deal with a possible injury? No. I could see the endocrine system releasing hormones to help you, but not to help your immune system. Okay, that's the best answer.
Yes, you finally got one right.
Okay, which diagram correctly describes how the two systems accomplish the internal transport of water and minerals in plants require two systems work together. Transport. Okay, so I don't know if they're going to talk about what all systems, but to transport water and nutrients, you absorb water in the roots, and the xylem brings it up through the vascular system. You make glucose in your leaf, and the phloem brings it down and up. Okay. Absorb through the root system. Okay. Transport through the shoot system by vascular tissue and stomata in leaf tissue. I don't know about that one. Exchange of minerals for water in the root system. I don't think that's right. Transport of minerals through the phloem. Minerals to the leaves. Low, no. Transpiration? Transpiration by the guard cells in the leaf? No. Absorption of water by the leaf? No. Okay. So it looks like F is the best. Did y'all pick F?
I picked H.
Okay. Because you do absorb through the root system, transport through the shoot system, by vascular tissue, and stomata. Technically, stomata does control water, so that was the only thing. But all the rest had things were wrong. Okay. When the level of carbon dioxide in the blood is too high, the excess carbon dioxide reacts with water and produces carbonic acid. The carbonic acid causes the blood pH to become more acidic. When the blood pH becomes too acidic, chemoreceptors in the brain instruct the body to react and maintain homeostasis in blood pH. Which of these responses by the body would eliminate the excess carbon dioxide and help maintain homeostasis? So guys, right now, watch this. I have excess carbon dioxide in me. What do I have to do to get rid of it? Yeah. So guys, you're storing the carbon dioxide when you're not breathing. So let's just say, increase the body's temperature by shivering. Will that help you with carbon dioxide? No, temperature. Increase glucose, sugar. Breathing more rapidly. So try to maybe get rid of it. Decreasing the heart rate. Okay. So whenever you see something about carbon dioxide and oxygen, you know, breathing, that's how we exchange it. Okay. Next one. Leaves are a part of the plant's shoot system because it's above ground. The sky, tissue and leaves transports. Okay guys, this is an extremely fair question for your STAR test. Xylem, sky, what goes upward?
Water.
Water and micronutrients in the soil, good. The bacteria needed, does it transport bacteria needed? I don't even have to reread that one. Wax required, wax. The water and minerals, yes, absorbed by the roots. The oxygen that regulates. Plants don't need oxygen, they get rid of oxygen. Okay, super simple.
Not that simple. I got it wrong.
That's okay. Okay, so the diagram shows the reproductive system of a plant. Which of the following best describes the interaction between a plant's reproductive parts during self-fertilization? That means that it fertilizes itself. So, pollen is released from the blank to the blank. So basically, if you're really puzzled, only thing you know is, okay, ovule, ovary. So this must be the female part. So if you absolutely do not know what's going on, the last thing that should happen should be the pollen needs to somehow get through the style, down to the ovary, down to the ovule. Okay? Now I will tell you, the pollen has to come out of here and go in here. But even if you didn't know that, you know it needs to get to this female part. So let's see which says that. And I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller. That way I can look at all the answer choices.
You could move it a little bit.
Okay. Pollen is released from the anther. Okay, I could get on board with A. Released from the anther is transferred to the stigma. Pollen tube forms and grows through the style. Okay. Where the and reaches the filament. Oh crap, they lost me there, guys. They got me. Pollen tube forms and grows through the style. Pollen reaches the filament. Guys, we just went from here down to here and then jumped over here. So is that right? What did y'all pick for this one, by the way?
I picked C.
Okay.
I went B.
Pollen moves from the ovule up. Should pollen, the male part, move from the female part? No. Pollen is released from the anther, yes. And it's transferred to the stigma, good. Pollen tube forms and grows through the style, down. Pollen tube reaches the ovule within the ovary, yes, C, good job guys. D, pollen is transferred from the stigma to the anther, no. So you know it has to end up in the female ovary part, and C is the only one. A sounds correct, so I can see why a lot of people be like, oh yeah, it's going the right direction. But it did not follow through. Okay. In the process of deamination, the liver converts amino acids to compounds that can be used in energy metabolism. The liver removes the amino groups from amino acid to produce urea. What does urea sound like? Urea.
Diarrhea?
Diarrhea? Okay. That's not the answer I was looking for, but urea. Urine. What system is the urine in? During this process, the liver works in conjunction with which system? Getting rid. Okay. Did not like this next one. They try to put one of these on every test. It's to see if you can read a feedback-ish kind of mechanism. Okay. If a person has a blood calcium level of 8 out of 10, which of the following mechanisms does the body use to maintain blood calcium? So, when you're in homeostasis, you're about a 10 out of 100. So, this is high or low? 8 out of 10, high or low? Low. So, what happens when we have low? Okay, so homeostasis, otherwise, stimulus, falling blood calcium. So guys, this is where we're at. If you have a falling blood calcium, it stimulates parathyroid gland, releases PTH. Okay, so when you have a falling blood CA, the kidneys take up more CA. Guys, would the kidneys take in more CA calcium if you didn't have enough? I don't think so. The bones release more CA. The intestines increase reabsorption of CA. All of the above. Let's see. Okay. When you have low levels, release PTH, CA reabsorption. Oh wow, yeah, that's right. Okay, so it says CA reabsorption. What does it say up here?
Active vitamin D.
Kidneys take up. Where's the kidneys?
Right there next to the vitamin D on the right.
Okay. What does it say right here?
Stimulates the
Reabsorption in kidneys. Okay, so all takes up more in the kidneys. Increases reabsorption. Oh wow, so it's all of them. Bones release. Stimulates the release. Okay, so it's all of them. I know when the bones release it, the kidneys make up more CA2 and release vitamin D. The kidneys take up more CA2. Intestines increase. Okay, so it's D. Did any of y'all pick D?
I didn't pick one because I was cooking.
Yeah, I don't love these questions.
I picked C.
I learned a trick. If they put all of the above and you don't normally see that, then
Yeah.
it's most likely that.
Reabsorption in the kidneys.
All three.
Because my thing is if there's reabsorption, that means if it absorbs it, you'd think it would get rid of it, but because of the reabsorption, it says all of these things make the blood calcium rise. Okay. Okay, so it is all of the above, because I guess this is what's in A, this is what's in C, and this is what's in B, so yeah. Ooh, easy peasy. Healthcare workers are exposed to many different types of pathogens. Right away you hear pathogen. What system fights pathogens? Immune system.
And circulatory.
Which body systems work together to protect the body from pathogens? So only one of them says immune system, so boom, pick that one.
I got two.
Remember, what protects the body? So your skin protects it, is their first layer of defense because it needs to pass through it. Integumentary, good. Your skeletal can technically protect your organs, but not really from pathogens, and then your immune system. Circulatory probably means you're circulating more white blood cells, or helper T cells, or antibodies, or so it's C. Next one. Ooh, I like this one. I think this was a fair question because 3 of these definitely have wrong stuff in them. Which of these correctly describes the interaction of 2 biological systems for a specific purpose? Ready? So, how do I regulate temperature? The nervous system secrete hormones. Who secretes hormones? Endocrine. That is wrong. The endocrine system responds to shivering by causing sweat glands. I think these are switched, okay? Infection defense. As part of the integumentary system, skin and nostril hairs help keeping invading pathogens out. That is true. Within the immune system, antibodies are produced by B lymphocytes to defend against that. This is going to be the right answer?
Yes.
But let's figure out why these are wrong. Digestive system hormone transports digestive things.
No.
The circulatory system does. I'm sorry. The circulatory system breaks down food. Nope. These are switched. Okay. Reproduction, making babies. Okay. The endocrine system produces sex hormones.
No.
Well, we know endocrine produces hormones, so I don't know. The reproductive system controls the endocrine system. No. No. This one definitely is the best. Did y'all get beat?
Got me.
Okay, here is a system in a plant. It's the tropism we've learned about. Okay, the plant on the left is undisturbed. The plant on the right has been touched. Which of these most likely benefits this plant? So as you can see, here's the here's all the undisturbed. Here's undisturbed. This one is disturbed. It kind of shrivels up and looks kind of gross. Okay. Because of thymotropism. What is most likely to benefit? Okay, is it protect from a loss of minerals? Protect from poor light? Protect from herbivores by becoming less attractive? Protect from overwatering? Yeah. Nobody wants to eat something that looks dead. So that thymotropism is helping them become less appetizing.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Most plants have hair-like structures called trichosomes that protect from surfaces and help the plants in many
I
ways.
don't know what that is.
In some trichosomes secrete toxic substances that most likely perform which of the function? Why would you ever secrete a toxic substance?
To get it out of your body?
Okay, to release it from your body.
When
Also,
you sweat?
what about in terms of predators? Will predators want to come at you if you're secreting something toxic?
No.
So, why would you secrete something toxic? To perform which function? Absorb carbon dioxide, protect against herbivorous insects, reflect the light off leaves, reduce water loss.
Protect.
Yeah, it's a form of protection.
Like, let that octonaut.
Yeah. Okay, up here, almost done, guys. Up here. A table lists, the table below lists types of white blood cells found in humans, indicates how abundant they are, and describes their function. Okay, so they have this type of cell, total percentage, like how abundant they are in the body, and what they're involved in. Okay. The two most abundant types. So guys, based on these, which two are the most abundant? Based on their percentages. So which two did you?
The third one and the fifth one.
Good. Third one and the fifth one. Because ready, it goes less than 1%, 1 to 6, 25 to 33, 2 to 10, 54 to 62. Okay, so based on those two, white blood cells may be both involved in a response to which? Produce antibodies against toxins, attack and engulf microorganisms. Is that during injury, heat, allergens, or a bacterial infection?
Probably an injury.
Attack and engulf microorganisms. Produce antibodies against toxins. It's definitely not injury or heat. Allergen. Because it actually says allergic response right here, I wouldn't pick that one. I would think it would engulf this bacterial microorganism. Okay. Almost done. Whew, it's a little bit of a long one. Information pamphlet. An ovum moves from an ovary into the uterine tube, where its migration towards the uterus is aided by the peristaltic contractions of the smooth tissue of the uterine tube's walls. What system are they talking about, first of all?
Reproduction.
Reproductive. They're talking about. Okay. Which statement identifies the body systems that are directly involved in the interaction described and explains how they accomplish this interaction? Okay. The nervous system produces hormones that stimulate the ovum, and the circulatory system moves the ovum into the tube. Okay. The first part may be right, but does the circulatory system actually move things in your reproductive system? I don't think so. Okay. The circulatory system supplies the uterine wall with oxygenated blood, okay? And the immune system prevents damage to the ovum. Should the immune system be preventing damage to the reproductive system? No. So I really don't think that's right. The reproductive system produces the ovum, and the muscular system causes the migration of the ovum by the peristaltic contractions. Yes. So guys,
Is he right?
just like our muscles squeeze to swallow or squeeze to get our bowel movements through, they're just telling you right now, our muscles squeeze to get a women's ovum to move down her reproductive system. The excretory system expels the ovum from the ovary. Excretory, no. So C's the right answer. Almost done, guys, up here. Crassus garrulalis is a bluebird with an orange-brown back. The offspring of this bird have an effective defense mechanism. The young birds vomit and cover themselves in foul-smelling orange liquid when they sense a threat by predators. Which two systems alert the young bird of the danger and help produce the vomit? Oh, very cool defense mechanism. So is it nervous and digestive, integumentary and muscular, immune and respiratory, excretory, and I don't think it's reproductive? So, alerting and producing the vomit. What do y'all think?
Nervous. Digestive.
I think so too. It's your nervous system, alerting, and then throwing up. Not so much immune system, keeping you healthy. Skin and muscular, maybe with throwing up, but also digestive, good. Okay. At point X, the rate of which process is equal to the rate of photosynthesis? At point X. More carbon dioxide given off by the plant, cellular respiration. I hope that they don't give you something like this. This is hard to. So it says CO2 exchange. The only thing that exchanges CO2 for oxygen is cellular respiration. So what they're saying is photosynthesis based on CO2 exchange. So I'm pretty sure it's not reproduction or growth or transpiration. To transpire means to sweat. So it's cellular respiration. Ooh, this is an easy one. Ready? Rate of reaction. Acidic, basic. Is the enzyme working really good now? No. But then it's working better at this pH. But then when it gets higher, it doesn't work anymore. Okay? Then you got another enzyme. Doesn't work, starts to work, is best at this pH. Then when it gets higher, it doesn't work. Okay. The student found that pepsin functions best, in an acidic environment, and trypsin functions best in a neutral. So it just told you right here, this is acidic, that's neutral. Based on their observation, pepsin, most likely aids in digestion of which part of the human body? So something is really acidic. Where would that aid in? Stomach, your stomach acid. Okay, here is an animal can wound a tree by scratching it. Okay, here. Away the bark, the tree can respond to the wound in many ways. Usually sap quickly covers the wound, and the tree covers the wound with its new growth. The diagram shows a cross-section of a tree with a healed wound. So here's the healed wound. What process worked most directly with the transport system to heal the wound? So guys, why do we have to make more cells again? To grow and to heal, okay? Which process makes more cells? This looks like cellular respiration, but it actually says cell reproduction. They should have said mitosis. Okay? It's not photosynthesis. Most people pick that because they know that's happened with plants, but that's not why the wound healed. It's because they made more cells. It doesn't have to do with water or carbs. Cellular reproduction.
That's what I chose, photosynthesis.
Yep, that's the trap. Okay, copper is a micronutrient that can be found in soil. Copper is important for reproductive growth in plants and plays an indirect role in the chlorophyll production. Which statement correctly describes the interaction that occurs between the root and the shoot system of the plants? So remember, roots absorb water nutrients, sends it up through the xylem. Okay, let's see. Copper is produced in the roots. Do roots make copper? Yes or no?
We're not sure.
Roots do not make copper. Copper that is absorbed by the roots is transported to the reproductive tissue by the shoot system. The shoot system stores copper for later use by the root system and reproductive structures. The shoot system transports copper to the roots after it is taken in through the stomata. No. Okay. Copper that is absorbed by the roots is transported to reproductive structures by the shoot system. The shoot system stores copper for later use by the roots and the reproductive structures. So jump into G or H.
I got H.
Well, now that we're talking about it, what are you gonna put?
I'm at H.
I picked G. Copper that is absorbed by the roots. So it tells you how does it do it? It absorbs it, then it stores it.
Ms. Fox, is this kind of mask better for you, or the ones that are disposable is better for you?
Cloth now. Okay, which of the following functions as the same organ level as a kidney in the human excretory system? So what is the what is the organization level of a kidney? Is it a cell?
Think.
Is it a tissue? Is it an organ? Okay, so which one is the same level for the excretory system? The bladder. Good. So you have to know, and I don't know if we went over this actually with the body systems. You have your cell, which is the basic unit of life, forms tissues, forms organs, forms organ systems, forms organism. Then it goes organism, population, community, ecosystem, biome, biosphere. Okay.
Can we turn on the fan?
Yeah, we're almost done. Okay, if you did not get this far and did not finish this like you needed to for homework, then listen as I'm going over this and you have to answer them with me.
Got it.
Erythrocytes, is it erythrosclerosis? Atherosclerosis is a disease that obstructs blood flow and therefore oxygen supplied to target organs. A major organ component of atherosclerosis is the excessive reproduction of smooth muscled cells of the body vessels. Certain drugs may have the potential to reverse or prevent the unregulated reproduction of this diseased blood vessel cells. Which of these processes is most likely the target of these drugs? Cell division, erythroblast differentiation, DNA transcription, cellular respiration. So answer this at your seat. There's one sentence that really tells you what the drug needs to do. Okay, excess reproduction of muscle tissue. So what does the drug want to target?
Excess reproduction.
So which one is that? What answer choices would be?
Wouldn't it be cell division?
If it targets cell division, it will limit the cell division. Good. Okay, next one. What two human systems work together to provide the body cells with constant supply of oxygen while removing carbon dioxide?
I think I got that.
What?
The respiratory.
Good. Respiratory takes it in. Circulatory distributes it, picks up the CO2, and we breathe the CO2 out. Good. Okay, toxoplasmosis is an infection producing brain lesions caused by the parasitic protozoan Toxoplasmosis gondii. Mice with gonads removed are more resistant to and develop fewer lesions. What system are gonads in? Gonads.
Reproduction?
Yes. So they're saying mice who you remove their gonads, their reproductive system, actually get fewer lesions from this toxoplasmosis, whatever. Okay, the graph shows the results. Males, when you remove their, let's see, males and females, effects of lesions, okay. Lesions on males, lesions on females. Which system most likely interacts to cause the severity of the infection? Because you know gonads are reproductive, and I would say involve like hormones, endocrine. And technically the toxoplasmosis is a protozoan parasite. What system fights parasites? I'd probably say that they're talking about the immune and the endocrine system. When a person suddenly cut by a sharp object, a nervous impulse is sent along a sensory neuron to the spinal cord. The impulse is immediately transmitted through motor neurons to produce a response. Which of the following correctly describes this person's response? So, suddenly cut by a sharp object is a conditioned response that occurs only to prevent injury, is a learned response that does not occur in infants and small children, is a reflex response that causes various muscles to contract in order to move away from the object, is a voluntary response that is initiated only after the impulse has been carried to the reflex or the relevant area of the brain. What do y'all think? H, it's a reflex. You do it without even thinking about it. Good. So it's H. The human digestive system is approximately 900 centimeters long. Food is moved through the digestive tract primarily by. So how is food moved out of the digestive tract? Bile produced by the pancreas, enzymes, the enzymes amylase and pepsin, muscular contractions, hydrochloric acid in the stomach. Good. So the thing is, they want you to pick the enzymes in the stomach acid, break it down, but how is it actually moved? By the muscular contractions. Good. Okay, osmoregulation. Oh my gosh, the bell's fixing to ring.
Oh no, Miss Feist.
We get out at 39.
Okay, hey, real quick, we're gonna skip this one. Let's go to some that are a little bit more important. Changes in water pressure within guard cells cause the cells to open and close their stomata. Stomata is for gas or sometimes water. This is a response not stabilizing plant's temperature, regulating the water loss. It's B, okay? Cell differentiation, okay? We had this on our test too. The process of cellular differentiation results in the production of many cell types, including germ cells, somatic, and stem cells. Cell differentiation is most likely directly related by. To make cells become germ cells or somatic cells, who regulates everything in your body? DNA. Okay. Plant hormones serve as chemical messengers between cells and tissues. Auxin is a plant hormone that causes the cells on the shaded side of a plant shoot to elongate. The response enabled by auxin is known as. So it has to do with plants and light. Which one is plant hormones and light? Which one of these is plant hormones and light? Geotropism, transpiration, phototropism, photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis.
Phototropism. Okay. Stomata allow gas exchange. The epidermal cells and stomata have functions similar to that of which of two body systems? Which of the two body systems allow gas exchange? Skeletal respiratory, cardiovascular skeletal, integumentary respiratory, cardiovascular integumentary. Oh, sorry, one other piece of evidence. The epidermal cells are usually covered with waterproof layers. So it's the outer layer that allows gas to come in. So which one is very similar to being the outer layer of a human and letting gas come in and out? What do y'all think? So what is the outer layer of a human called? So the outer layer of a plant is tegumentary, and what allows gas to come in and out just like the stomata? Respiratory, okay. Oh my gosh, this is... hemoglobin carries oxygen to body cells. Which system contains hemoglobin? Carries oxygen. It's got to be the circulatory system. Red marrow, bone marrow is in your skeletal system. The medulla is the part of the brain, reacts quickly to an increase of CO2. Guys, when you have a lot of CO2 in you, what do you have to do? Breathe. Respiratory. Okay, up here. This is a nerve cell, so when I say your cells look different, look up here. This is located in your brain, and then this is located where you touch. Okay, so this is a nerve cell. Let's do this picture of the plant. Ready? Look up here. Which of the parts is not directly involved in sexual reproduction, guys? Do you have to have a flower to have a female or a male part? No. So the two parts that are not involved, as in they're not actually sexual parts, is the well, there's a bunch of them. The pedicle, the receptacles, the sepals, and the petals.
The petals.
Yeah. And look up here. If you had to figure out which one of this it was, so look up here. Up here. So you have two kidneys. You might not know what this is called. Then you have a bladder. So you definitely want to start off with the kidney into the bladder. Okay.
Great lesson.
Can I come in here today?